Here's 7 things that I've learned from owning 4 different companies over the last 23 years. Number 1, self-awareness. I remember the first time I took the DISC personality, the Myers Briggs, the Enneagram. Never even heard those before, but when I started taking them, things became so clear and made so much more sense. And I realized that I don't fit in certain boxes, and I fit really well in others. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have been my whole life. Early day entrepreneurship, when things were not working out and things were really tough financially, and it was just a lot of learning and failure. I remember my wife was like trying to hey, you need to get a corporate job. And so I was like, okay. And I could not fit into that box. I had lots of interviews, made it to the final interviews, but everyone kept seeing through me at that level. And they're like, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur. And I kept hearing that over and over again. And I was like having a hard time believing it because I kept failing early in the process. But nevertheless, it's true. I was wired for entrepreneurship. I couldn't do anything else because this is exactly how I'm wired. So number 1 is become self-aware. Learn, how are you wired? What are your interest likes? What are you naturally bent towards doing? And then try to swim with the current more so than against the current. That'll help you out. Number 2, spend most of your time in business as a founder or CEO or an owner on the top 5% of growth activities. If you're not pulling the big levers that are going to make a positive impact on the business in 6 months to a year from now, and you're in the operational minutia and you're focusing on all the wrong details, you're going to really regret that decision. So every day I have a to-do list, and I have 2 sides of that to-do list. I have the top 5%, and then I have other. And in the top 5%, I make sure that those priorities are listed in there. Those are my highest leverage activities and my biggest priorities, and those must get done. Those are non-negotiable. Number 3, margins matter. My first business that I opened, the margins were so thin. There was all kinds of variable costs, and the margins were like 8-10%. They were super, super thin. And I realized how much margins matter, because top line revenue doesn't mean hardly anything if your margins are like pretty much 0. So what I learned is that a lot of the service-based businesses, like monthly recurring revenue businesses like gyms and fitness centers and kids programming, and a lot of like service-based businesses that have monthly recurring revenue are the way to go, because the margins are better. And with the margins being better, then you can hire better people. And then you can operate more freely, you can spend more on marketing, and it gives you the room, the breathing room that you need. But if you run a business where margins are really tight, it's going to be really, really stressful. So pay attention to what industries and what types of businesses have better margins, and service-based businesses tend to be much better in this area, like service, and then also software. Hey, if you're getting some value out of this, hit that subscribe button, like and share, drop a comment, and let's get back to it. Number 4, future thinking. What's working today will not work in the future. For example, as an agency, I'm the founder and CEO at Leadline right now. We've been in business for, I think, almost close to 10 years, and we have a lot of, relationships with a lot of big brands nationally. We do a lot of membership marketing and AI, but what we did 3-4 years ago is completely different than what we're doing today. Our processes are different. Our strategies are different. Optimizations for advertising are different. We now have AI fully integrated into a lot of what we do. None of that was around before. And so you can't sit on the idea that what we're doing today is what we're going to be doing tomorrow. It's going to change. You got to innovate, you got to push, you got to adapt, and you got to continually do that. It'll never be the same. The phone book is a perfect example of that. Blockbuster Video is another example of that. You have to adapt. So what's working today will not work tomorrow. So always be looking around the corner into the future to see what's next. Number 5, hire A players. Don't waste money on C players. Hire people that have high levels of potential or skill and ability or talent or experience. Don't hire C players. C players will cost you more money, more pain, more frustration, customer service issues. There is so many problems when you hire lower level people on your team versus hiring those A, maybe some B players, but typically you're aiming for those A players that are going to be fantastic, okay? always hire A players. Number 6, lead flow will solve most of your problems. Not all, but most of your problems. If you're a business owner and you don't have leads, you can't breathe, right? You're suffocating, your business needs oxygen, and if you don't have lead flow, that creates all kinds of sales problems. Your pipelines are empty, then you get desperate, you make poor decisions, then you start thinking really short-term instead of strategically long-term. Think of it this way. If you had more leads than you know what to do with, and you were on a 3 or 4 month waiting list, what would change about your business? You could raise your prices. You can be more selective on who you work with and who you take on as clients or members or customers. You would present differently in sales. Like your salespeople would be so confident, not cocky, but so confident that they would be very selective and people would want to work with you more because it's harder to get with you, and that drives demand. So like I said, lead flow does solve most of your problems. So if your business is struggling and you're not getting enough leads, look at how you can increase your lead flow by a lot. And number 7, you don't know what you don't know. Looking back at my 20-something-year-old entrepreneurial self, wow, I didn't know a lot. And I look at that today and I'm thinking, 20-something years later, I'm thinking, wow, how much do I still not know, right? You don't know what you don't know. So how do you fix that? Well, you got to be a student. You got to learn. You got to love learning. You got to love a life of learning, first of all. But secondly, you can shortcut that process. You can shortcut that through, if you're wanting to start a business, you can buy a franchise because they have systems in place already that will help you expedite that learning curve. The other things you can do are join coaching programs or masterminds or get mentors of people who have been there and done that and are where you want to be. If somebody is not where you want to be, you don't want to follow them. They need to be already where you're at and have proven that out. And if that's the case, then that will help you expedite knowing what you don't know, so you'll have less blind spots, less pitfalls, and give you a little bit better smooth sailing. Won't be easy, won't be perfect, but it'll be 10 times better because you don't know what you don't know. So those are the 7 things that I've learned owning 4 different companies over the last 23 years, some failures, some great successes, and I wanted to share those with you. I hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next video.